It's time to dad.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Time to Dad. I'm here with JT and Joe. Thank you guys for hanging out, joining us. Like and subscribe. Shit, what were I literally just forgot. Oh, we were talking about T-ball before I hit record there. Yeah, I'm in this interesting phase of T-ball, right? So our season's getting ready to wrap up once we make up the 5 million and one games that got rained out. But we had to do all-star picks this week here, and so all the coaches got together, and we have 6 teams, and we can have a 15-kid roster on the all-star team. So we typically do about 2 per team, and then whoever's going to be the head coach of the all-star team then kind of hand selects the other 3 that are the final 3 are basically we can have 10 kids on the field. So really there's 5 kids that are going to, be on the bench. But a lot of times it kind of works out to where a kid gets sick or you got a kid that'll, hurt themselves and can't make it. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's Emerson's last season at the T-ball level. And, I was really hoping this season he's going to get his shit together and start playing, but I couldn't pick him, and it sucks. But at the same time, I'm kind of proud of myself because there are coaches out there that are in our league that pick their kid, and I know damn well there are kids that outperform those kids on their teams, and I'm not going to say shit.
What's the process there? How does that work?
So for me, it was, hey, who the hell are the 2 best kids on my team? And that's who I picked. And I talked to the other assistant coaches on my team. And before, obviously, I have the final say. But before I submitted the picks, I reached out to the 3 other coaches that work with me. And I said, hey, we need 3 players for All-Stars because I wanted to have a backup because there's an additional fee associated for the uniform and the tournament entry fees. So in case for some reason a parent couldn't afford that extra expense, I wanted to make sure we had somebody else or somebody on vacation. So everybody gave me their top 3, and for the most part, we were in agreement. And so I took the top 2 to the table, and then I said, "Here's our backup third if you need a third from our team." And Emerson wasn't one of those picks, and he's a good player when he's focused, right? And I know it's T-ball, so it's tough at that age. All they want to do is run around the field, goof off, throw dirt clods, play in the mud. But when he plays, dude, he fucking plays, and he's got his shit together. But I wouldn't have been able to be happy with that decision if I made it, and I knew, there was another kid on our team that was consistently showing up and performing better. So I'm partly proud of myself that I was able to make that decision, and it's not.
Is it close? Is he like one of the next ones?
Not really. And I think that's what helped. There's a pretty big gap between him and the top 2 kids. And there's another third kid that's right about where Emerson is, and his dad's a coach, and he recommended that kid. And I was like, well, he's just like Emerson, dude. When he's on, but he's off, 50% of the time doing other shit.
But the other 2 aren't.
No, the other 2 are like the kid's always paying attention, always ready to go, hyped to be there. They're good players too, right? It's not just about their ability to show up. They do perform. Sure. I mean, I knew the one kid I picked was going to be a shoo-in because we were playing the guy's team that he's going to head coach the all-star team. And our number 1 pick just sailed a ball into the outfield, hit the fence in the air. And not many kids do that on our T-ball field. And he was like, holy shit. And I was like, yeah, like that kid can hit, he can catch. I mean, I was talking to his mom, like he's good enough to where he's got 1 more year in T-ball. But really, I was like, I think we should talk to the league and see if he can play up because he's so advanced. Next year, he's not going to get anything out of playing with younger T-ball kids. So, but that's the T-ball journey for this year. I wasn't even supposed to head coach, but the guy that originally signed up showed up into the group chat for the team, was there for about a week, and then all of a sudden the league board chair jumped into our chat and was like, "Oh, by the way, he can't coach anymore." And so just through this weird process, I just became head coach again, which was I said I wasn't going to do.
4 coaches.
So if we're being honest here, I have 2 coaches that I really rely on that help me. There's another coach that he would be helpful, but he's got a weird work schedule, so he can't make it to all the practices and games. And then there's another dad that is helping coach, but really all he does is help his kid, which infuriates me. But at T-ball, like the more eyes we have on the field, the better.
Yeah.
So really it's me and 2 other coaches, and then we have we have like a team mom. Usually it's whatever mom is willing to be in the dugout and endure the chaos that is kind of the dugout mom.
It's so funny with like baseball. I think that's so many coaches like per kid. You almost have like a coach per 3 kids, but like soccer,
dude, T-ball, you have to, man.
Kids, and it was just 2.
I'm like, dude, like they know not to pick up bats in the dugouts because what do those kids do? They'd start fucking swinging it. Somebody gets hit. Yeah. And we had a couple games where it was just like me and one other coach for a while. And then we didn't even have the regular team mom to help in the dugout. And I'd turn around and they're fucking swinging bats at each other, throwing rocks at. You have to have you have to have this army of parents that are willing to help, which I did not have in the fucking fall. And that's why I was like, I'm not going to head coach again. But this year we've had more than enough dad support to help coach and stuff like that, and parents that are involved. So it's been a good season, but it's bittersweet knowing Emerson will move up next year, and he didn't make the All-Stars, but this is only his second chance to make the team even. So, hopefully.
I was just going to ask, may I ask, how did Emerson take you not pick? Was he okay with it?
He does, dude. That's the whole thing of it too. Is he knows there's an all-star team, but he doesn't fully grasp like what it is. I don't think yet. Okay. And at the T-ball level, you're like all-stars really, but some of those kids can play, man, and a lot of the kids on the other teams that they're going to compete against are friggin' like legit all-stars. So, I am going to try and take him because that's the other weird thing is the head coach was actually the first guy that I ever coached with in T-ball. He was the head coach. I was one of his assistants. And so he came to me and was like, "Hey, do you mind helping me coach?" And I was like, "Well, that's a little awkward. Like Emerson's not playing, but like, sure." I like working with the kids and helping them out, and it just feels good to be able to do that. So I told him, sure. So I'm going to try and take Emerson to some practice and see if he can be like the kid just running bases, or try and get him involved and at least take him to the all-star game. So because it's different. They allow walk-up music. They turn the scoreboards on, which they don't usually turn on during their games.
Yeah, so they make it a little special for the kids.
Yeah, they announce the kids as they come up to the plate. So it's special. So I'm going to try, and even though he can't play, I'm going to still try and see if Keith, the head coach, will let me get him involved somehow, so he can see it. Yeah. Because my wife's talking about getting him into soccer because she's like, since I told her he didn't make All-Stars, and I'm like, well, it's fucking T-ball. Like, not every kid falls in love with baseball. Yeah. I didn't truly fall in love with baseball till I was probably 9-10 years old. Mm-hmm. Is when I really started to enjoy playing it and started, practicing on my own. And I just don't like soccer. I don't think it teaches the same values as a sport like baseball. And part of that's because I never fucking played soccer, but I just don't like soccer. So we'll work on it over the fall and into the winter, and hopefully he'll bounce back and start getting more interested. But I was like, I do not want to be a fucking soccer parent.
Well,
I just don't.
That brings me to another important question. How did your wife handle you not picking Emerson for All-Stars? Was she kind of just indifferent about it?
No, I don't think she cared either way. She knows that it's just like when he so last game we played, he was like, Dad, I want to play pitcher. And I'm like, all right, cool. He's ready to play pitcher. I asked that MFer before the game started. I was like, dude, do you need to go to the bathroom? And I got to know, I'm good. As soon as we take the goddamn field, I'm looking for Emerson. Where'd he go? To the fucking bathroom. And so I'm trying to wait. The other coaches are getting frustrated with me because I'm having to put other kids in positions they probably don't want to play to keep the pitcher spot open for him. And so I'm trying to get him to hurry, and he gets all bent out of shape and has like a fucking meltdown. And he walks out on the field crying. I can't get him to stand there. And I'm like, dude, you cannot just stand here and cry. You're going to get reamed with a ball. And so I had to pick him up. And there's times where I have to kind of be an asshole with them. Yeah, and I'm sure parents looking are like, Jesus Christ, because not all the parents watching know he's my son. But he had a fucking meltdown. And I had to, I was like, dude, I give everybody on the team 1 inning to pick their position within reason, right? Like, I'm not going to stick the kid that only picks his boogers in the infield because he's going to get hurt. I've seen it happen. You have to have some level of awareness or you risk getting drilled with a fucking ball, which will ruin that kid's baseball experience. So within reason, I let him pick. And so that was Emerson's pick for the day. And luckily, the next 2 innings, he just had a meltdown, and he went and sat with Jen in the stands. And in the 3rd inning, he finally came out, and he fucking played. And we got compliments from the other team about how well he played at pitcher and how far he had come since last season. Okay. But he's just not at the level yet where I can consistently get him to do that. And so it's difficult.
But pitcher and T-ball, they're just standing there. They're not pitching.
They stand. They pretend throw the ball, and the batter has to wait till they pretend pitch. Okay. Yeah, but in T-ball, the pitcher gets a lot of balls. A lot of balls are hit to them, and so it's kind of a prominent position. They're always getting in and having to make the throw to first, which he's really good at when he's on point. But when he's not, it's just like, what the fuck are we doing here? So I don't know. It's been fun.
The reason I ask is because, I mean, how many dads can actually objectively do what you did?
None.
I mean, none. That's my point. So that's why
you would hope,
because some man may fear repercussions from his wife being all pissy about it or hurting his kid's feelings. So obviously, I would have done the same thing if I were in your predicament. However, not too many other dads will make that kind of call.
I mean,
I think the non-participation trophy dads would.
I agree. Yeah. There's kids on the team. I can tell their parents are a little frustrated that they're always in the outfield. But I mean, they've seen 2 kids on our team get drilled, and they were put in positions where it was questionable for me whether that was a safe position for them to be in, right? Mm-hmm. The one kid was younger, but he pays attention. He just is not great at catching the ball in the air yet. And I had my all-star kid at pitcher, and he threw him a ball and clocked him right upside the side of the head. And he cried for a couple minutes, but he came back out. So, I hope when parents see stuff like that, it kind of clicks like, oh shit, that's why my kid that does nothing but play in the dirt is always in the outfield, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it does, but I have not gotten I've never had anyone give me any negative feedback about the way I treat Emerson, because he's my son, right? So when he's causing a scene, or when he's getting in trouble with other kids, I can be a little more aggressive as his father with him. And as where with him, if he's throwing a temper tantrum, I can just throw him over my shoulder and take him to the dugout and tell him, he's got to chill there. But I'm not about to pick up somebody else's kid and throw him over my shoulder and march him to the dugout. Yeah. I have to be a little more careful. Yeah, I have to be a little more careful and kind of be nicer to those kids. But I think that's part of the reason I coach, is because I can set that level of expectation with Emerson. But it is frustrating where, I can't go over and sit down and have a 10-minute conversation with him and calm him down. And, thoroughly explain why he's now in the dugout, because I have a whole nother team of kids that I need to look after. But at the same time, I like being hands-on. I mean, I love working with all the kids, and it has this weird way to kind of make you feel young again, being out there with the kids, right? Running bases, pushing them, racing them around the bases and stuff. So it's cool, but
fun. It's fun.
It's like you said, there aren't. I see it a lot where there's favoritism towards your own child.
And it's only
nine times out of 10, it's biased favoritism, right? I don't know any head coach whose kid is the star of their team and deserves to pick every position they play or bat where they want to bat. But there's tons of YouTube content and Facebook content on they call it daddy ball, where like your kid always plays shortstop, but they make like 8 errors in a game and they suck at batting, and that's just not me. I mean, my dad didn't treat me that way when I played. If I wasn't worthy of a position, whether it was football when he coached or baseball, I didn't play there. And I'm under the same mentality. You know, I don't want to give Emerson a false leg up. I want him to compete, just like I expect all the other kids to compete for who's going to play where. And that one kid that I said hits bombs and is an amazing fielder, I don't care what inning it is with him, I'll let him pick his position every time, because that kid hustles, he gets it, he plays hard, he pays attention.
He wants to be there.
Yeah, and I explain that to the other kids. You know, when they ask me if they can pick their spot, and I tell them, you know, well, I need you over here. I explain that the reason he gets to pick his spot is X, Y, and Z. And some of them, you see the light bulb go off and they're like, damn, I need to work harder. And other ones, they're just like, man, whatever.
I was going to do a cartwheel. Right?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Pick dandelions in the infield.
Dude, we have.
I mean, as a coach, I mean, listen, that is part of your job. I mean, when I was coaching the sport that you hate, soccer, for all those years.
I forgot you coached soccer. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a little academy for years, and then I coached high school, and then I had the kids there. So from 6 up until I guess technically 17,
full age group.
Yeah. So I had all the ranges, but it was different, right? Coaching boys and girls was different. So that was interesting. But you do have.
Did you coach both?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I had both, and then I eventually hired trainers to help with the girls' team, so they would have like a girl role model to kind of look at. You know, they didn't really look at me as a role model type thing. You know, it was either they hated me.
I always find that weird when I see like men softball coaches.
Yeah. It's weird. You know, as a kid I went to college with, he only coaches girls' soccer teams. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's very weird. It's a little weird to me, but
gives you vibes.
Yes, definitely. You know,
without
even those vibes back in college too. But
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's fucking weird.
I don't think he listens to this. So I think we're good.
I played soccer one year when I was in like the 4th grade.
Right?
I played soccer 1 year when I was in the 4th grade. I was a little tubby kid, making my ass, make my way across the field. And this was a full-size soccer field, you know. It was so, but I just didn't like it. So I never did it again. Played baseball for several years. Played, once I got 8th grade, I did football.
That's when I stopped, was 8th grade. I stopped at middle school because I'm not a big dude, right? So at middle school was where I really started noticing a size difference between me and the other kids, and I was like, this is not sport for me anymore.
And you're like, I'm not going to.
I didn't want to get creamed by big old boys.
Yeah, football was always the one I wanted to play, but my mom didn't let me do it. Or to get hurt for soccer. That was her reasoning.
what about y'all's plans for? I mean, because school's almost out for kids. So, what do y'all got planned for summers? I mean, y'all going to do vacations? I mean, what kind of stuff y'all got going on? Well,
you got
awesome.
fishing, right?
And then we only do one, typically one larger vacation each year, and so we'll go down to the Outer Banks of North Carolina for a week. We're usually there through like the 4th of July week every year, so we'll do that. That's a fun, interesting twist in my life. Speaking of the beach, my mom. So you guys know my dad passed away several years ago. But my mom has been talking to a gentleman for a while, and I kind of knew she had been talking to him. I didn't know how serious it was, but she about a week ago she was like, "Hey, I want to know when you and your sister and everybody can do dinner because I want you guys to meet Tom." And my sister has always, anytime that was brought up, because she had kind of talked with another guy before this guy, my sister just she's not having it. And so my mom kind of confided in me first, and she was like, "Hey, I want you guys to meet him. I want to do dinner." And I was just kind of like, "All right, cool, like whatever." I think that kind of shocked my mom, right? I think she might have been expecting a similar reaction to how my sister reacted, and I just told my mom, I was like, you have every right to be happy yourself. And I was like, I only know of you and Dad's relationship of what I saw and what I grew up around. And I was like, I can only assume that you always loved Dad, and that this relationship doesn't change about how you felt about Dad and the marriage while you were with us. And I was like, you have every fucking right to be happy. So I was like, you don't need to come to me for approval or tiptoe around telling me shit. Which I think she was really glad to hear, because my sister's 180 degrees opposite. She was very vocal and kind of upset about it. They kind of got into it at my mom's house, and I tried to like tell my sister, like, look, you can't, tell her how to live life, and neither one of us have any room to stop her from being happy. But she dropped that bomb, and then within like a couple weeks of having the dinner, she dropped the bomb the other day that he's going to move in with her, which again kind of like triggered my sister.
I'm sure.
And I'm just, the whole time I'm like, as long as that's what makes you happy, like who the fuck am I to stand in your way? He seems like a good, genuine guy. He's an ex-FBI agent. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I believe he lost his wife. She had passed away. I don't think there was a divorce. And so I'm just kind of going with the flow.
So they share experiences there, and
yeah. And they've been talking for a long while. It's not like she just met this guy a week ago. I knew about it, but my sister did not know about the whole time they were talking because of the way she reacts to that kind of stuff. But then, to tack on something else that I'm sure kind of triggered my sister, we were over there for Mother's Day, and Tom, the guy she's seeing, came over, and ice cream truck came. We all got ice cream, and we're sitting there eating ice cream. And I already was aware that my mom was going to invite him to this is how I got to this topic, by the way. I was already aware that my mom was going to invite him to the beach with us for the week. But my sister was not. And so the kids are running around. They're being little assholes to each other. And my mom looked over at Tom, and she's like, are you going to be able to handle like a whole week of these kids like being crazy? And I don't think it dawned on her what my mom was saying. And basically, because the beach for us, I mean, that's always been something super sacred to my sister, because her and my dad would spend fucking hours and walk miles down the beach collecting fucking purple bits of seashells because that was my sister's favorite color. I mean, she's the biggest daddy's girl you'll ever meet. So the beach has always been.
This is tough for her though.
Like, we've hinted at like having other families that we're friends with come with us, and she wouldn't really even entertain that because it's such a sacred family event to her. So I don't know if she fully grasped what my mom was saying or if my mom has actually told her that's what's happening yet.
Do you think she's going to go if she...
I can't see her not going because it's such an important event for her. And it's such a bonding time because we do a lot of stuff with them and we do a lot of stuff with my mom. So the boys are always together. But the beach is like just that one time where we're literally stuck in the same house, glued to each other for the whole week. So I can't see her saying no. We're just not going to go. But I could definitely see her like kind of vocalizing her thoughts about it. Yeah.
Is she the type of person that would...
No, she'd passive aggressive it.
Okay, so she wouldn't say anything in front of Tom or...
No, she would. Yeah, no, she's not. We were raised better than be little assholes like that, I think. But it's like...
it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be an interesting trip then.
Yeah, I mean, my sister kind of snapped back at her and kind of was like, this whole thing is not just, an adjustment for you. It's an adjustment for everyone, which I agree with.
Does he have kids?
He does, yeah. Yeah, he's got kids and grandkids. So, which we haven't met any of... My mom's met plenty of his side of the family, but we haven't met any of his side of the family. But it's an interesting scenario. I'm just kind of like, all right, well, if that's what you want to do, like, go ahead. I'm not going to call him fucking dad. I'm almost 40 years old. So it really doesn't affect me other than, as long as my mom is happy and he's taking care of her. Yeah. So that was if there's any dads out there in a similar kind of situation, it's been an interesting one. But I think I've always been more of a kind of go with the flow person than my sister to begin with. She's the teacher, so she's very organized, regimented, kind of set in her ways of things. So,
well, I think that's a tough thing. I mean, I know, like, one of my best friends growing up, his mom was sick with like cystic fibrosis, like from her whole life, really. But she was a fighter. She beat it, outlived, so much longer. She was supposed to live until she was like 20 something. She lived until she was 60 something.
Damn. Nice.
With all the lung transplants, all that stuff. And their dad was basically her like nurse, like literally like, I am amazed at the man he was to be there and faithful all those years to take care of her, where, taking care of a person, not even really having almost like a wife.
Yeah.
And when she did eventually pass a few years ago, she definitely got engaged very quickly with a new person.
Yeah.
And I know for two of the siblings, they were cool with it. And then the other two, not so much.
Are they like our age or are they younger? His kids.
Well, I mean, my friend's our age.
Okay.
So then he has a twin sister. His younger brothers are 4 years younger.
Oh, okay.
And then he technically has two older brothers, but they weren't his son.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit different. They weren't his kids. They were her previous marriage. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. I know my buddy was definitely a little salty, as they say.
Yeah. I don't know. I never got that feeling. I don't think.
I think it's just you don't know how to react. Like, that's mom or that's dad.
Yeah, I don't immediately feel a calling to like try and be buddy is the only thing. I guess like I'm just like I'm very slow to let my guard down regarding that. And I think if I had probably been a little bit younger than I am now, it definitely would have been more weird. I think just having a little more age under your belt helps you understand things like that and be able to put yourself in their shoes, so to speak. But it was just interesting that my sister and I are so and I get it. I mean, she is the poster child of daddy's girls, right? Like he's my superhero. But I, she was a million times more than that to him. So I know it hit her hard, but it's very interesting to just see two polar opposite reactions to that kind of situation. And I mean, maybe if somebody out there is in that situation, I almost feel like that is inevitable, regardless of the level of relationship that your parent had with your, mom or dad. That's human nature, right? To feel wanted, to be happy. So in my mind, I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, you do you, let me know what you need from me, or when to, step back, whatever. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Is he paying the bill? Then I'll be at there.
I was like, he damn sure better be fixing your lawnmower every time you run over something in the yard.
Right.
I'm over there once a week because she thinks the lawnmower's a wood chipper, and she knocks the belt off the riding lawnmower. I'm working on that thing. So,
well, I can definitely relate to your stance on kind of being standoffish to a degree. You're a grown man, like you said. You're not looking for another daddy, and you and I seem similar in the sense that we don't really care to go out looking to make just a whole bunch of new buddies.
Yeah.
So obviously the focus there would be just like, does he treat my mom all right? Does he treat her good?
Yeah.
Does he take care of business? And I can say that about my stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
Man, let me tell you, my stepdad stepped up far more than anybody else would be expected to. So my mom and he, they started dating. Then they got married. And then it was only after they got married was she diagnosed with MS.
Yeah.
So she was no longer able to work. She needed a lot of care, a lot of assistance with certain things. And let me tell you, that man took it up a notch, and he's went above and beyond.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't call him dad. And we have gotten closer over the years.
Right.
But, the dude is a stand-up dude. I'm glad my mom, was able to, find somebody that would commit himself to. So, if your mom has a chance to find that, who are we?
That's where I am. I can only imagine,
as
dude,
their children to getting away with that.
Yeah, I can only imagine it. If Jen weren't here and I'm going to bed by myself every night, and I'm watching movies by my phone. It's rough, dude. And so that's why I was like, who the fuck am I to tell you that you can't, better that situation for yourself and, bring somebody in that makes you happy and kind of brings joy and normalcy back to life. So,
yeah.
Well, to kind of lighten the mood on this specific topic, my wife and I joke, lightly joke about what would you do if I died. And my wife asked me, would you date? Would you get remarried? Fuck no, I'd get a hooker. It's cheap.
Now you did it all,
dude. I have friends who are in the dating world right now, either due to divorce or they just never got married. It's a scary place, from what I heard. I cannot imagine.
Yeah, no, dating.
I couldn't imagine.
I almost went that route before I met my wife, because I actually resorted to trying to date online.
Yeah, that's what some of my buddies have done. That's even scarier.
That's what I would do at this point. I think I would do that.
Online dating?
I know. I'm gonna tell you.
I'd get fucking catfished.
Shit. Look. I was talking to numerous women and everything like that, and
your wife's gonna.
At first I wasn't looking for a relationship and everything like that, but I wasn't, and I was looking to have some fun, but it wasn't to that degree where I was looking for it to happen like right away. You know what I'm saying? And some of it was just obnoxious. It was weird. I was like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more.
Yeah.
And I had sent my wife a message on one of those dating apps, and she didn't respond right away.
Oh, so you met her through a dating app?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, we met
Right.
through a dating app. And
See, it works.
Yeah.
There you go.
this, and
Right,
and all
right when you
chance,
almost lost
'cause,
hope.
like, literally, I was on my way to deleting my account, and then I got an inbox message, and it was her, and she finally responded with. So we got to talking. We met up at a public park. First time meeting and everything like that. And it just took off from there. I mean,
I think that's why it's kind of cool. Like if you did, right, if you got divorced or anything, and you started doing that, because it takes the awkwardness out of it, right? Like if you have to go out to a bar and you got to go talk to somebody, everybody's still like, it's not like you're gonna walk up and be like, "Do you find me attractive? Let's start talking."
Yeah.
Right? But online, like the dating things, you match because you find the person attractive. It's like that first thing's out of the way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And then it's kind of like, all right, these are my political views. Are these yours? No. All right, peace. Right? These are my religious
I'm glad
views.
you said that,
You know,
because
like,
I went straight into that whenever she and I
JT
met.
married
I
to
told
a
her
mega
what kind of
liberal.
dude I am, and I was like, look, because to me, your ideals and your politics and everything like that, those are fundamental values. If you can't
Honestly,
agree,
we-
agree.
Jen and I never talked about like what our stance was on politics. And luckily it worked out to both. We're like on the same fucking plane. But I know some people that like that's something they talked about, and other people it's like Jen and I, where you just you make it work.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but see, a lot of people, they try and skip over politics because it's called politics, right? So,
Yeah.
but you fail to realize that politics is downstream of culture.
Shit.
So, and
But
culture
nowadays
has a lot to do with
everybody wears
your
politics
ideals
like a
and-
badge, so you fucking
Well,
know.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot
But I mean,
different now. I mean, I don't know what it was 30 years ago when I was 6, but I just feel like it wasn't as hostile. As it
No,
is now.
definitely not.
No, it's definitely hostile. Boy, Trump
Yeah, I
sure
think
knows how to
that's
bring it out, bring the worst out of people.
Yeah, but I think that's why it would be, if I was going to do that, I think that's why I would do it. You find the person, if they're attractive, do they match up with your political views, your religious views, and then
Unless you
Then you
find
go from
out
there.
her profile pictures are from like her college days. And then you meet her and you're like, oh, the fuck happened?
well, I think I'd FaceTime me quick. I want to save your.
There you go. Before Joe's FaceTiming before the date. That's great.
Don't do this catfish crap,
yeah.
which is
But-
your phone's broken, your camera doesn't work.
oh my god.
Somebody tried. I was interviewing someone the other day. They tried telling me the camera didn't work. I said, "Well, we're not gonna do an interview if I can't see your face." So,
Yeah. If you can't like clean up and try and look nice, look like you're there to impress, and
especially in the email when it says, "Please make sure your video and your camera and audio work prior," and then you get on and say,
Do you make them screen share?
I keep hitting X to start video.
Oh, okay.
On Zoom.
Nice.
And it doesn't work. And I said, okay, well, listen, we'll have to reschedule.
Oh no, well, I mean, like some interviewers now make you screen share because of all the like Chat GPT and the AI shit that's out there for where it can generate real time responses to your interview questions. I can't imagine going into an interview and feeling the need to like. It's such a high stress interview. Like, you're not qualified for the fucking job if you need AI to help you do the interview.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're one of those fucking people that sucks at interviews, like, come on. The fuck.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to switch topics.
Nope.
Joe, what about your plans? What do you got going on, man? For summer? What are you going to do?
I'm heading to North Carolina
Europe
in a few weeks.
North Carolina.
I don't know if we're gonna
Denmark
for my wife's
right.
Denmark, mate. Poland.
Oh,
Poland.
Whoops. Somewhere over there.
Amanda's parents just got home an hour ago. They're actually at my house right now. They just landed. I don't know if we're doing that. We got July. We got Pennsylvania. We go down to a lake. Me and my college buddies, we always go once a year there. So we got a Pennsylvania trip for 4 or 5 days. Then in August, family trip, kind of like what Nick does, what you do with yours. We do a week week away, we're going upstate New York. I forget where this year. Different house. We found a different house we're going to do. So that's a week with all the cousins. It's 25 people in a house.
Jesus.
Which is, it's all my brothers, all the kids.
Yeah.
Now girlfriends, boyfriends, fiance, parents. So it's
all in the same house.
All in the same house. It's a blast, man. It's freaking awesome. It's
25.
Yeah. We love it. It's
bro. We got like 9 when we go, and that's borderline too many people.
Yeah.
We love it. It's great. It's games, playing outside, just hanging out, stuffing our faces, and for a week.
That would be like a family reunion get together for us, and that would be like a one-day thing.
Well, you gotta remember, so every single Friday, we all go to my parents' house every Friday, still to this day.
Wow, who's we all? How many of you are over there?
So me and my 3 brothers. So there's the 4 of us, our wives and kids. And then my mom usually has her sister, or she invites like a friend of hers.
That's the Italian in y'all.
Yeah. So every single Friday, there's 20-something people at my mom's house.
Nice.
And
that's good. I like that.
It's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's great. Me and so this month is busy in the sense that my wife and I will be celebrating our 4-year wedding anniversary.
Nice.
And then literally 3 days later is my son's 2nd birthday.
Nice.
And then at the end of that week, my brother-in-law and I are going to be going camping out on the beach on the Gulf. Going to do some fishing out there in the canals, kayaking.
Gulf of America?
Yes, sir.
The only Gulf.
But yeah, we're going to go do some kayak fishing in the canals down there.
Nice.
Hopefully catch a red drum or so. We're going to actually just full on camp out on the beach, which is going to be pretty cool.
Nice. I've never beach camped.
Yeah, me neither. Actually, I've never really camped. I got to start doing more. My wife's terrified of spiders. So.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
I mean,
try and do
crab digging with my dad.
Just rent an RV.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to get
that's
the
not
RV.
camping.
Well, when you don't camp at all, it's close enough.
Yeah, it's what my wife will be.
Yeah. If it gets her outside.
Yes.
But yeah, we're going to do some. The whole camping thing is so that we can go out and do some crab gigging at night.
Nice.
Crab digging,
chicken neck on a line.
It's where you try. So some people do it. They just try and catch the crabs. But then I use a gigging pole, and it's just a pole that's got 2 little spears on the end, and you can stab them with it, and put them in your bucket, and move on.
There's that many like there where you just see them and stab them.
Yeah, I mean,
you ever been to the beach at night?
If you go down to the jetties in between all the rocks, man.
There.
If you go down in between all the jetties, they have all the rocks and everything like that. If you're going out there at night and you go, you can walk the beach where the surf comes up, man. You'll see blue crabs all over the place.
Yeah, we don't. We get those ghost crabs on the beach at night, but we don't get the nice blue crabs.
Yeah,
they're around, but you gotta pot fish for them.
Yeah, blue crabs. I mean, you can pot fish for them if you're like out on the end of the pier down there in Galveston. Mm-hmm. But I like gigging. It's a little bit more active.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try live. I'm not going to try to live catch them because
if little bitches are flexible.
A blue crab, get a hold of it, man. That shit'll break skin. That'll hurt you.
Yeah.
So I'm.
They got pointy ass little bitches.
Yeah. But crab are good for shark bait. They're and if they're big enough, they're good enough for eating. But I've caught a stingray off of crab. Blackfin sharks. So we
always got crabs for sauce. We would eat the crabs like whenever we would go.
Yeah,
but I think they got to be 4 inches here to keep or something like that now, or 4.5.
Yeah, We can't keep females here, and they got to be 4 inch, I think.
Females are always the big ones, though. That's the damn problem.
That's why you got to put them mamas back to repopulate the population.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then right there at the end of the once we get back from our fishing trip, my mother-in-law is going to be here with my wife's aunt, so they're going to be coming down to visit. They'll be here for about a week, and then right there at the end of June, my biological dad, we're actually going to get together for the first time ever.
Right.
And
that's cool.
Yeah.
I thought you guys did in the past. I thought you guys.
No. We only ever the furthest it's ever been is video chat, and we video chat every day now. But that's only been within the past year. But I've been talking to him off and on since I want to say 2018, 2017, somewhere around there. But I didn't even know his name prior to 2017.
Nice.
And I just kind of reached out to him and said, "Hey, man, I just want to let you know I'm your son." I wasn't trying to reach out to him because I wasn't looking for daddy. I was 30-some years old. I just said, "Hey, man, just wanted to know who you were, see what you're about, let you know who I am, and if you want to try and continue a relationship, I'm cool with that." And then at first he was kind of real standoffish. He was like, "I've got a family now and everything like that. I've got a little girl," and he was obviously concerned about how his wife may feel about it and everything like that.
Does she know prior to y'all talking again?
No. But from what I understand, he didn't even know because he spent 20 years in prison. He went to prison the same week I was born. He went to prison the same week I was born.
Wow.
And he, so he kind of knew, but he wasn't ever, he didn't think anything happened of it or, happened from it or something that he didn't ever think about it. And then I reached out to him when I'm like 30 something and said, "Hey, you're my dad." So obviously, he's allowed to feel, some reservations there.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I talked to my half brother more than I talked to my dad for a good long time. Now he just turned 21 back in April. And then I have a baby sister who is 9. Her birthday is literally the day before mine.
Nice.
But yeah, we've been talking a lot, and so we're gonna go. And his wife and I, we get along rather well. So we just decided to skip all the other formalities and just invite them down here for a trip. And my baby sister, who's 9 years old, actually made the call. They left it to her because she's been going to Disney World since she was like 5. They asked her what she'd rather do, if she wanted to go to Disney World or if she wanted to come to Texas to see her big brother, and she chose to come to Texas. So
they're in Pennsylvania, right? You said?
Yeah, they're in Pennsylvania, Johnstown.
Okay.
Yeah. So they'll be coming to visit, and they're driving.
That's cool.
So, they'll be here for a couple weeks though. So it's gonna be cool to get to hang out with them. Outside of that, I don't know of any other plans that we're going to be doing. My wife hasn't mentioned anything specifically that she's going to do.
That honey-do list, that's what you're going to be doing.
Oh, shit. That never stops. But I'll also, in the fall, I'll be starting EMT certifications. I've been trying to get on the ball with that here lately. So got a lot of stuff coming up, and trying to make sure that I don't let all that stuff get in the way of taking care of my family. Well,
you got the anniversary, so make that a nice little trip.
Yes, sir. We'll make it count.
Nice. All right.
Very cool.
Sweet. Well, that sounds like fun shit. Now I feel like I don't have enough going on in June. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
More power to you.
We got like the birthday parties, and literally every weekend's already booked. It's this kid's birthday party. This one, and we got baby showers and
and this
and that.
Jen has a baby shower coming up. So,
Yeah, June 12th, I think
Nice.
she's got it. So,
all right on. Well, thank you guys. Thank you
Stay
guys
busy.
for. Oh, you got something else? Sorry.
I was just saying, stay busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's like my motto in life. I gotta stay busy. My ADD will not allow me to just sit there and relax. I gotta be doing something. So
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. Like and subscribe. Join us in the Facebook group. If you missed the specialist episode on mortgage lending, go check that out. Special episode 4. And then, like we mentioned on the previous episode, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So we also have a special episode. I think it's special episode 1. Not entirely mental health geared, but it does have to do with dealing with a loved one who may have some substance abuse issues, and some resources for you with that sort of thing that can also help with other mental health concerns you may have. So go check those episodes out. Leave a couple comments on them, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you.
Peace.
Bye.